Hey, DC, no, not late and gay. I hit the live start right at 7, so right when the thing went down to 0. So it just takes a sec for YouTube to um to respond, and I had to of course go over to the YouTube window in order to mute that, so I'm not like double talking here or sound like I'm double talking. Anyways, there's two of us here. Um, we'll wait to see. We'll wait for to see. We'll wait a few minutes to see if more people show up here. But get ready because we're about to take it to the mic stand. Now I know I mentioned this on. I do have an announcement for later on tonight. I'm just going to wait till everybody's here. It's in regards to some programming notes for this for the next couple weeks here in regards to Thursday and Friday. After I kind of mentioned that on the Knucklehead stream the other night. So, um, but yeah, I just have 30 seconds late. Yeah, 30 seconds. Wow, 30 seconds. I pretty much am on time. It's just that, anyways. Hey, Nick sometimes is what, like minutes late? So, I mean, hey, I'm pretty much on time. Anyways, so how'd your weekend go there? Uh, how'd your weekend go there, ATC? Anything exciting happen for you? Engulf me with your knowledge, Nietzsche King. Well, I will when I'll get started on that when we get a few more people in here. I just like to, they say if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Well, yeah, I guess in a way, I guess you could say that's kind of true with how, because it does take a second to, if um, I do hit the start button right at 7, but it still takes a second for YouTube to um to do it. So yeah, maybe I do need to do it like a second or two earlier than right at the but but anyways. So I saw you were doing some more Masters of the Universe stuff over the weekend on their ATC. My weekend was good. My new queen size bed came in. I got all the Zords for my Hasbro Dino Megazord, Megazord made videos. Been good. So it sounds like you got pretty busy there, and I would figure, particularly around the holidays too, because if you're doing some of these remodeling jobs for the people too, especially around Christmas time here. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, laugh out loud. I found a bunch of videos I was supposed to edit, finished, and uploaded for the weekend. Cool. Good evening, dude. Hey, back goat. Let's see. Action. Toys. channel. Action. Toys channel. Back go da 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 da. Back go da 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 da. Back go da 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 da. Back go da 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 da. Back go. Back goat. Back goat. Anyway, hey, back goat, what's up, man? How you doing tonight? You have a good weekend? Well, I wonder what it's like, know that I made the rain. I wonder what it's like, know that I'm a hero. I'm sorry you took a little yellow hat on everyone. You can come and see that when I'm done. When I'm done. Hey, straight up, what did you hope to learn about here? Find someone else. All doesn't fall apart. Strange, where were you when we started this game? I wish the real world just stop hassling me. Wish the real world would just stop hassling you and me and you and me. Yeah. I released one of my 3D models for He-Man figures. Made some friends, lost some friends. All in all, it was fun. Mhm. And life works out that way sometimes. Let's see. Yeah, the baptism was just yesterday. It was nice seeing all the family our and flipping our idiot governor, the bird, by having 30 people in one house. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to protest these stupid rules. My 3D printer died, so I'm thinking of making a post for donations on getting a new. I saw the vid about the stand, cool, this yesterday. Yeah, I didn't even know you were having a baptism, my friend, but not a lot of people were upset. I would give away STL files for a 3D printed action figure stand. Hmm. I know, so lame. It's cool you are doing that though. Yeah, so coming up on 9 minutes here. Yeah, so and thank you guys again for your likes and shares. I really do appreciate that. Seeing if we can get some more people in here. Obviously, back I mentioned the ATC, even though I mentioned it on the Knuckleheads broadcast here today about what we talked about on Friday about for the next couple weeks here. So I'll be giving that announcement probably a little later when we have more people in here. Congrats on the baptism. Laugh out loud. Always good to flip off the government. Yep. ah, all right. Well, we're at the 10-minute mark. There's three of us in here. I'm gonna at least get started on the news articles. I have six of them tonight. Four comic related and two anime related. So so I'll go ahead and tell you guys what's on tap for tonight. Of course, we got a couple of stories from Marvel. We got some release information from DC. We got something from Lucasfilms. Anime. I'm going to talk a little bit about Crunchyroll announcing the categories for their anime awards, as well as the Yu Yu Hakusho story that grabbed my attention too. So, see what you just said. Well, Elsley's baptism, not mine. He's the newest member to the church. He's a good little duder. um, Looked like a pimp in his white suit. 3 months old and didn't make a peep. He's a good dude. Yeah, and I bet all the well, maybe he is a pimp because I'm pretty sure there was such a cute child there, all the ladies were going gaga for his goo goo. So right there, back out. Um, hmm. Oh, anyways, well, okay, and then the little smiley face there from Action Toys. I'm gonna go off camera for just a quick moment, and then I'll be right back. We'll get started. Okay, so let's go in here. Okay, let me see. Okay, that's all good. All right, so the first story of the night here. Look at this. Marvel Comics author Saladin Ahmed puts out call for professional artists, explicitly gives preference to POCs and women, persons of color, of course. In a recent call for artists to apply for an upcoming project, Marvel Comics author Saladin Ahmed explicitly noted that he would discriminate in favor of POC and women. I guess POC meaning persons of color during the submission process. Mm. The fact that he outright said that and he used the word discriminate could open himself up to a lawsuit. How about we all need a casual shoot to shit day? Well, ATC, hang around. Partly that's what's going. We're not just going to have. Let's just say that we're not just going to have one, but we're going to more likely have four. So coming up here, I'll speak more to that um, a little later. But right now, yeah, okay. It's just funny though how some of these SJWs now are getting pretty bold here. Now this guy is outright saying that he's going to discriminate. Now, granted, he's saying discriminate in favor of, but I could see that really opening him up to an anti-discrimination lawsuit. You know, on December 8th, Ahmed, the current writer for Marvel Comics Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and the Magnificent Ms. Marvel, announced on Twitter that he was looking for a reliable artist with pro credits. I guess means graphic novels or monthlies to work with on something awesome. Um, Ahmed described the project as a swashbuckling, um, yayish, or I guess young artistish, mythic adventure, and asked for artists to recommend yourself with sequential samples, and your email. He then concluded his hiring call with a declaration, um, persons of color and women, front of the line though, if you front of the line though, if you don't like it. Yeah, language like that could get him sued. I guess here's the tweet form of it. He also gave his followers a quote unquote fair warning that I'll likely delete this at some point after collecting samples. Yeah, he's gonna have to because he's outright saying he's gonna break the law there. He's outright saying he's gonna discriminate against white people. Let's see. You made Mike swear. Boom, 10 points. Hmm. I didn't know I sweared unless I was reading off something he said. But laugh out loud, Mike. I don't even know what I said when I said it, but aiming for over 9,000, of course. Final form it up. Young adult. Makes sense. Fair warning: if I punched you, you never get up. what a what a bleep bird. What a manure bird. Anyways, move on with the article here. While it is unclear whether Ahmed is seeking an artist for a personal project or a Marvel Comics project, the writer further noted that the hired artist would receive pro rates and would find themselves starting February 2021. I guess here's the unless of course Marvel got smart and canned his behind for for making that statement, opening them up to a possible lawsuit. Laugh out loud can't level past being a sexual tyrannosaurus. Just kidding. But I think of power. I'm out of power up, more like Master Roshi for me. Laugh out loud. Dang it! I didn't get him. Uh, Unfortunately for Ahmed, his clear preference for specific demographics over others may spell legal trouble for the author. As I was saying, as such, a practice is a as such a practice is a violation. Okay, let's read that. Unfortunately for Ahmed, his clear preference for specific demographics over others may spell legal troubles for the author. As such a practice is a violation of Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a federal law established to prevent hiring discrimination following the federal outlawing of racial discrimination in U.S. hiring practices. Yeah, what I think what these guys seem to forget is that the laws have to apply equally to everybody. Okay, yeah, you can't discriminate against somebody because they're black or yellow or red, but you can't discriminate against them for being white either. You may think of it as some kind of poetic justice to try to do that, but everybody, that's the whole point. It's like you need to treat everybody equally, not just one race over another. Um, Section 2000 E-2, Section 703 of Title 7 specifies that it shall be an unlawful employment practice for an employer to fail or refuse to hire or to discharge any individual or otherwise to discriminate against any individual with respect to his compensation, terms, conditions, or privileges of employment because of such individual's race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Or to limit, segregate, or classify. Well, first off, before I continue that, let's look at these panels here. Captain America and Spider-Man here. I guess that might be the Miles Morales version of. Or to limit, segregate, or classify his employees or applicants for employment in any way which would deprive or tend to deprive any individual of employment opportunities or otherwise adversely affect his status as an employee because of such individuals' race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. This particular section adds Title 7 also specifies that it shall be an unlawful employment practice for an employer to print or publish or cause to be printed or published any notice or advertisement relating to employment indicating any preference, limitation, specification, or discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. You know what? You know what would actually be funny is if somebody ended up suing this guy or Marvel for this statement. I think it almost sounds like the statement he made after the first one, where he said he'll probably delete this tweet. I think he was having like an OMG moment because I think he realized, oh, did I just say that out loud? I think the guy just realized it and just went, "Oh boy, sorry, Mike. My head's deep in a deep gutter. Yeah, a gutter. Laugh out loud. Today's been a long one. Laugh out loud. Well, yeah, you're keeping busy though, right? That's got to be a good thing. You goofball. Yeah. Well, I think this Saladin Ahmed guy's a goofball. I think the dude, basically ran his mouth in a way that, you know, that it's gonna bite him in the where in the end. Ah, let's continue on with the story here. The law is not without exception, as guidance document CM-625 bona fide occupational qualifications BFOQ recognizes that in some extremely rare instances, a person's sex, religion, or national origin may be a reasonably necessary may be reasonably necessary to carrying out a particular job function in the normal operation of an employer's business or enterprise. Such as basically, if you're working, let's say, in a religious institute, you still have to kind of follow the religious tenet. Like, if let's say you want to work at, let's say, a Christian school or something like that, you still have to be, follow their, follow their practice, to an extent, maybe not outside of the school, but definitely within the school. In other words, person who may be LGB uh, LGBTQ may not necessarily be an entirely a good fit for, let's say, a Christian school to work in, and they may ask them not to talk about um, their lifestyle there because it goes against the very tenets of the school and anything like that. It should be noted that BFOQs are not automatic. An employer must prove to the federal government that a specific position qualifies for an exemption before it is granted. However, the protected class of race is not included in the statutory exception and clearly cannot, under any circumstances, be considered a BFOQ for any job. So I think what they're saying there is that you can't come out and say that this job specifically needs a specific race, like a specific color of a person. Like this job is only available to let's say black people because black people are the only ones who are qualified to do it. I think that's what they're basically saying there is that you can't do that. This would mean that even if Ahmed were able to successfully argue whether there is any characteristic or quality peculiar to the given sex, which makes employing a member of that sex essential to the normal operation of the employer's business, and whether there is any reason or factor that would prevent a member of the excluded sex from being able to perform the job in question. In order to receive a BFOQ exemption for gender, his advertised hiring preference still violates the legal code. Mhm. Furthermore, while some affirmative action plans and inclusion targets can legally promote placement goals or diversity quotas, the Department of Labor explicitly states that in all employment decisions, the contractor must make selections in a non discriminatory manner, meaning you can't give any preference to anybody. You should be looking for the best person for the job, regardless of what the color of their skin is or their gender or what have you. Placement goals do not provide the contractor with a justification to extend a preference to any individual, select an individual, or adversely affect an individual's employment status on the basis of that person's race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin. The department's documentation reads. I sincerely hope this guy gets sued. Might make for it might make for some very interesting conversation there. Looks like you guys just went on a conversation tear here. Let's see what you guys have been saying here. I think he's a schmuck. Well, definitely not using his brains all that well for making such a statement. Okay, here's my question. How are people who are successful embracing all the SJW stuff? Now I grew up in a home where my mom ran things. But then again, in an Indian household, you raise your hand. If you raise your hand to a woman, that leaves that leaves the midsection vulnerable. Laugh out loud. Um, but these people are they sick? Where does common sense come into play? Common sense say, "Oh, you're gay, cool. You. You're trans, cool. You do you." Common sense says it's not an issue until you make it an issue. hmm Have these people abandoned common sense? I would say to a certain degree, yes. I would say to a certain degree, they're actually ATC. You're probably right. They have abandoned common sense. It's because it's like they feel now that, oh, now we can push this on people. We can force this on people because we got the media behind us. We got elements of we got the liberal academia behind us. You know, so I mean, most SJWs have never experienced true abject poverty. Even if they are world travelers, they don't see the real way people live. The ones that do don't come home. Laugh out loud. Sorry for the overactive comments, but my hands don't hurt tonight. And my wife made sure the whiskey's free flowing. No rum. It just slows me. Granted, slows me down a little bit, but sometimes it's good to have some good conversation going. And this guy's giving us yay whiskey, and this clown Ahmed is giving us some good material to laugh at, or just shun him as being an idiot. Following the reception of several submissions, Ahmed informed his followers that he was floored by the work here, even though I haven't replied to or even liked anything, and assured them that if you don't hear anything, it's likely because your work is awesome, but not perfect for this gig. Please don't read into the silence, though. It's bad for you, he concluded. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, him not responding, especially after he made the statement about his yes, hiring preferences, might actually tell a different story. No. Ahmed has since made good on his aforementioned promises and deleted the initial tweet featuring his hiring call. Um, what do you make of Ahmed's tweets? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. Well, I think we all have I think we all pretty much are in agreement that this guy is kind of an idiot for making the statement in the first place. Okay. And the fact is that with people being able to archive this stuff more, this guy just opened himself and Marvel Comics up to a possible discrimination lawsuit. Got to do something. This is a gray world right now, gray and empty. I felt weird ever since the election. I think millions of people are with me. Yeah, I think you know there's a lot going on in regards to that back out. It's like Trump is still fighting it, you know. There are a lot of people who believe maybe he should, but then there are people who believe he should fight. There are people who believe he shouldn't. But I think part of the problem is because particularly the establishment Republicans, the swamp, has never really fought back or doesn't fight back. That's why this is a bigger deal than it really is. You know, because you got a bunch of swamp creatures who are trying to maintain their power and prestige. And you got this outsider Trump who's saying, "No, this isn't right. We need to make it right." And you even have John Roberts, who they said was actually screaming in the meeting with the others, saying, "No, we can't take this case. We can't take this case." So I'm sure you guys might have seen Nick's video on cowards of the court, as it were, for them not even hearing the case. But I would hope that in that particular case that I would hope more that Thomas and Alito would stand up and say, "No, no, Mr. Chief Justice, we are going to take these cases because this is not right. Come what may of it." Making woke statements for the sake of making woke statements is the best way to go about things. I asked one of my friends from the USA this question: why don't the US just have their civil war? Things will be settled. Hmm. I don't want him to fight, and I know that this was the most fraudulent election in history. I'm just appalled. It's just what they want. Senator, and I know I'm going to say something here that's a bit, I'm not going to go off like I did last week, but maybe we need a civil war. Maybe because you have a lot of people on the left who are just pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. Maybe we ultimately need a civil war to just do a total reset. I mean, a lot of you on the left are pushing it because they feel that they can do no wrong because nobody has ever tried to. It's like you hear about the situation a lot. Where you have some of these protests, right? Where these people will stand in the middle of the road. They'll just gather in the road to keep cars from being able to move through. You know, because nobody's going to sit there and just say you guys shouldn't be on the road here. Whatever happens to you is your fault, and just drive through. You know, because that's not the kind thing to do, or that's not the appropriate thing to do. Okay, and we have these people talking about like defunding police, and I mean, if you're left to your own devices, I mean, look what happened in Virginia, right? With that one lady, where you had all these people. I think she was in a shopping center parking lot, and a lot of these protesters just surrounded her car with her and her kid in it. You know, I think for her own defense, she would have. I personally think she would have been right to just plow right through those people. Okay, but maybe, as I said, we need a civil war because these people need to understand there are consequences to their actions. You know, I would prefer not to have a civil war. I'd prefer if we could all just talk it out, but these people don't want to talk it out. They want their way or the highway. Well, maybe we should give them the highway. So Anyways, as I said, I'm not going to go off on a major rant like last week though, and say anything more. I mean, even what I said, granted, what I just said probably wasn't as, let's say, bad as the stuff I said last week, but it's still stuff that needed to be said. I don't want a war. I don't want a corrupt government. I don't want my neighbors voting that they hate me. Well, unfortunately, that just seems to be where we're being pushed towards. Yeah, I would love it if we. I'd love it if a lot of these leftists would stop trying to really impose their will on everybody, and with these like mask mandates and talking about lockdowns and stuff like that. But you know something? Remember, our country was founded on with the Revolutionary War. We got sick and tired of King George, basically telling us what to do, telling us how to live, and we had to fight a war to gain our independence, and we had to fight another one to settle differences between the North and the South. You know, we don't want. I don't really think anybody really wants war or to get to the point to where you feel like you have to fight to get what you want. But unfortunately, in life, sometimes that's exactly what you have to do. Sometimes people get pushed to the point to where when all else fails, you just gotta go for it. Peace is just the time till the next war. Between the Navy and paramedic, I have been at war for the last quarter of a century. It's draining. Yeah. The reason the left gets away with things is because the right has to find their testicles and truly fight back. The world thrives on balance, and the right now, that balance is out of whack. Totally agree with you there, ATC. I totally agree with you. You're exactly right. Life is about maintaining balance, and you have one side that's pushing hard for what they want, and the other just kind of crumbling and caving in. And you can't have that. Donald Trump is probably one of the first conservatives to really fight back and say, "Hey, no, we're not we're not going this route." You know, it's sometimes, you know, there's an old saying in the Bible. I'm sure, Backo, you've seen this before too. Spare the rod, spoil the child. You know, if you don't correct that child, they'll end up doing something stupid that will be a lot worse than getting a switch or a belt taken to their hide. I'm scared. I don't want to be part of something that can't be reeled back in again. Robespierre was a good guy at first. Well, they also said Adolf Hitler was a good guy at first too. you know, so like I really don't want war, albeit as you saw, sometimes even when I get into it, when I read stuff or hear stuff, it gets me riled up. That's part of the reason why I stopped watching the news altogether. I'll stop watching the news or won't pay as much attention because because good point. Yeah, ultimately, you have to call out evil. When you see there's evil in the world, you have to call it out. You have to deal with it. Sometimes maybe you have to commit some evil to deal with it, unfortunately. But as I said, if you don't correct a child, they will not learn, and then they'll end up suffering in a way, something far worse than having a switch or a belt taken to their hide. Okay, so as a student of history, let me tell you, it's all written in the blood. Peace comes after a great war, depending on the stability of the empire and all the secret assignments or assignations. Peace is more than successful. Even in times of peace, people die for the better good. Um, air quotes. Anyways, I'm gonna go off camera for just a moment. I'll be right back, guys. I forgot to turn myself back on there. Even in times of peace, people die for the better good, air quotes. Mankind is war. Well, I mean, as long as you have conflict, you will likely have war. You know, it really is a back goat. Anyways, guys, we've been getting into this. This is a bit of a downer. Let's get back to. I don't know if I like having my filter turned off. Sometimes I think we all need to have our. We need to have moments where we um, let our filters go a little bit. You try to keep stuff too much down most of the time. It can drive you. It can drive you crazy. Get back to news. That's what I'm trying to do here, Backgoat. That's actually what I'm trying to do. Um, I actually am trying to get back to it because even I realize we're getting into this maybe a little bit more than we really need to. So, anyways, here's the next story. To move on to another topic here, we're going to look at some Lucasfilm news here. Lucasfilm reveals new official Star Wars timeline. Skywalker saga moniker gets erased. This cuts into the comic books, television, and movie section. So here we go. Lucasfilm reportedly released an official new Star Wars timeline where they not only erased the Skywalker saga moniker they used to promote Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, but there is also no mention of the phrases original trilogy or sequel trilogy, prequel trilogy. A prequel trilogy is only mentioned to provide a reference point in time for the High Republic. This new timeline appears to have been released exclusively to comicbook.com and includes some of the most recent announcements made by Kathleen Kennedy at the Disney Investor Day 2020 presentation. And then here you see, of course, the some, the IDW #1, Star Wars: The High Republic. Uh, I think I started this laugh out loud. Sorry. Hey, that's okay, man. It happens. We all have our moments. Laugh out loud. Kathleen Ken got told her hands will never touch another Star Wars thing again. Laugh out loud. We've been told this before though. Hmm. Yeah, we're already at the 50. We're already past the 50-minute mark here. I'll try to go a little faster here. Not only does it include their recent live action and animated announcements, but it also includes their upcoming publishing initiative, um, the High Republic, indicating it might be much more than a publishing initiative. The timeline begins with the High Republic and ends with the rise of the First Order. The High Republic, Marvel 1, Star Wars, the High Republic. The High Republic is officially the new starting point in the Star Wars canon. The events of the High Republic take 200 years before the events of the prequel trilogy, um, that began with the Phantom Menace. This period will be explored in High Republic branded Star Wars books and comics that will be available to purchase beginning in January 2021. The newly announced The Acolyte series for Disney Plus will also be set towards the end of this period. Fall of the Jedi. The next era is titled The Fall of the Jedi, and it covers the return of the Sith and the fall of the Jedi's Order. Movies that take place during this era include The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, The Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith. Reign of the Empire. The next period is the Reign of the Empire. It will feature stories that explore the rise of the Empire and the chaos that ensues. The upcoming Bad Batch animated series, as well as Solo, a Star Wars story, are stories that are set within this period. Age of Rebellion. Next is the Age of Rebellion. The period tells stories of the rise of the rebellion following the Empire's rise and the ensuing iron grip throughout the galaxy. Star Wars Rebels, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi all take place within this time period. The New Republic. New Republic is set following the seeming demise of Emperor Palpatine as the Empire struggles to survive and the New Republic begins to take shape. The Mandalorian is set within this period. Rise of the First Order. Finally, the last time period officially announced is Rise of the First Order. This time period will see Imperial remnants reorganize themselves into the First Order and attempt to reclaim the galaxy alongside the resurrection of Emperor Palpatine. Star Wars Resistance, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker take place within this time period. This new timeline does not include Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie. When that film was announced, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy revealed that the film would move Star Wars into a future era of the galaxy. It also doesn't include Taika Waititi's unnamed Star Wars um, film, which is also supposed to be pushing forward into a new future era as well. YouTuber Gary Buchler of Neurotic um, reacted to the timeline stating all roads lead to Ray Palpatine, Grand P. Palpy, and the Disney trilogy. And they are going to use every show in the Mandalorian timeline, just like they used the Clone Wars for the prequels, he continued. He specifically points to the new timeline, stating, what else makes me think that this timeline, which was provided to us from Star Wars just today, where it says everything leads to the First Order. And before I need the article here, I'll be right back. Hey, laugh out loud, but this time it's true, right? Wait, is my crit coming through okay? Mike, I'm here all night. Yeah, I see you there, ATC. Yeah, normie voices work better than us geeks. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud, true. Um, this could really work though, as long as they don't overdo it. That that it's a woke franchise. That's the real trick, to quote Han. It's the right idea, just don't make us puke on too much of it. Laugh out loud, right back, goat. I haven't binge watched season two of Mando yet. Uncle E went ahead and spoiled it this weekend. Pissed at him. Not cool. Uncle E, I take it you mean Ethan Van Sciver, right? Ponka Waikiki. Okay. All right. You need for one more moment here, guys. Sorry. All right. So, as we'll continue the article here. However, he does note that during the Disney Investor Day 2020 presentation from Kathleen Kennedy, that there was no mention of Disney's CG. Buchler explains um, all that all that's being said, the Disney trilogy was completely ghosted during this presentation, and we have to keep that in mind. Again, I could be wrong, and I hope I am. Buchler's assertion that all roads lead to the Disney trilogy is backed by statements made by the Mandalorian showrunner Jon Favreau um, before the release of the first season. Favreau teased that the show would explore the origins of the First Order, also what could happen in the 30 years between celebrating the defeat of the Empire and then the First Order. You come in on episode 7, the First Order are not just starting out. They're pretty far along. So somehow things weren't necessarily managed as well as they could have been if the galaxy ended up in hot water again like that, he continued. Not only did Favreau tease um, the show would explore the origins of the First Order before the first episode aired, but more recently they made it abundantly clear with a reference to the Rise of Skywalker and that film's um, Snoke cloning experiments in the fourth episode of the second season. I personally find it interesting that their their final era or period is titled Rise of the First Order, except the First Order, which ultimately becomes the final order, is destroyed by resistance forces in the Rise of Skywalker um, film. It's just an odd name for the time period when the First Order and the Final Order are ultimately destroyed. What do you make of this new timeline? Well, do you guys have any? Yeah, we're done with that article. We'll get to the next two in a moment here. That all up. See what you guys have to say here. All right. Ethan does that though. He has been known to do that. Laugh out loud. I just never cared before. Now I guess you care now. Now that it's something that you actually watch or something like that, right? Something that you're really into. Laugh out loud. Back out now. You know, Uncle E taketh as he giveth. Oh my God, the whole smoke thing was the world's biggest letdown of the new series. I'll be honest, I'm so done with Star Wars and Trek that I've gone deeper into anime. Now, if we get to it, well, there's a couple of anime stories I got, but right now, why don't we head on to the next article? Well, before we do that, I got to go off camera for a quick moment. Right back. And even after an hour here, we still only have three people. Wonder what's up with Woody and the other guys. Woody, Anonymity, and Leto. I guess Leto had to work. I'd imagine, and then eh, watch AM. I never will. I'll one day make my own trilogy to replace this turd burger. Um, waiting for toys to get even cheaper. It will be a comedy, of course. Laugh out loud. I might for forgive Trek as they have bleeped up as much yet. That being said, they're on ice, so then on ice so thin that the ice probably has gravity sensors. Laugh out loud. That smoke was in the dollar store. I think Trek has offended worse, but it's so comically bad that it's not as infuriating. But I think Mike's getting sick of the ranch back. No, I had to go and deal with my nose. I know I'm the worst. Well, no, I mean I'm the worst. Remember last week I really went on a rant. Um, so, anyways, um, let's get on to the next article here. Man, we're past the hour mark already, so gotta hurry along here. The next story here: DC Comics announces new Nightwing creative team and political story. Oh, goody! You're gonna get political on us again. Yay! I remember, I think it was George of the Jungle cartoon, among others, that did that. Sometimes they make out like a crowd, they go to the crowd and they ask the crowd for some kind of response. They go, "Yay!" Anyways, DC Comics recently announced a brand new Nightwing creative team and revealed their first story will involve Dick Grayson investigating the newly elected mayor of Bloodhaven. The new creative team will be Injustice and X-Men Red Scribe Tom Taylor alongside Injustice 2 artist Bruno Redondo. Their run on the book will begin with Nightwing number 78, following the events of DC Comics' Future State event series. Taylor hyped up the run, claiming he plans to make Nightwing a DC Comics A-lister. He explained, despite awkwardly killing him twice in Injustice and Deceased, I'm a huge Nightwing fan, and I couldn't be more excited to take on a hero I've always considered a DC A-lister. Our series is about showing that. It's about putting Dick Grayson back on the pedestal where he belongs, he added. He continued, it's also about taking everything Bruno and I love about Nightwing and testing him in a completely new way, showing how Dick reacts when faced with impossible odds and with a life-changing opportunity which comes his way in our very first issue, Taylor said. While Taylor was mum on specifics regarding the series, the press release declares In Taylor and Redondo's Nightwing run, Bloodhaven has elected a new mayor with the last name Zuko, as in Boss Zuko. If you know any of Dick Grayson's history, you know it was him who was involved in the killing of Grayson's parents, which can't be good for DC's first sidekick and former Robin, but it's good for Bloodhaven. For those unfamiliar with the name Zuko, it's the surname of Tony Zuko, the mob boss who murdered Grayson's parents after CC Haley refused to pay protection money and threatened to call the police. And we all, of course, know about all that, as it was also depicted in the Batman the Animated Series Robin's Reckoning two-parter as well. Zuko and his men killed Grayson's parents by sabotaging the ropes that were part of their high-flying trapezes act. I guess the original panels from that story. With Izuko now the mayor of Bloodhaven, Grayson will recruit Batgirl to help in investigating the politician bearing the same name as the man who murdered his parents. And apparently, what Batgirl discovers will shock and fundamentally change Nightwing. Along with Batgirl showing up, Grayson might also be getting a new sidekick in the form of a three-legged puppy. The press release explains, and appearing in the first issue of Taylor and Redondo's new Nightwing comic is a potential new sidekick for Dick Grayson, a three-legged puppy that he shields from harm in Bloodhaven's alleys. Oh, how cute! Look at that! Look at that right there! How cute! Artist Bruno Redondo um, also hyped the series, explaining that he's bringing his best to this project. I'm not holding anything back from the project. He continued. Nightwing means kinetic potential, evolution, and a positive assertiveness more than any other character I've worked on. And that's the kind of hero we all need right now. Working on Working with Tom on Nightwing, the perfect evolution for us as a team. We have an incredible ideas for Dick Grayson's new adventure, Redondo concluded. And here are some more older. Taylor then detailed this is a perfect moment in time for his Nightwing series. He explained this is the perfect time for a Nightwing story. It's the right time for a charming, entertaining, positive force for good, standing with the underrepresented and pushing back against corruption and greed. Oh, there's a puppy biting somebody's hand. And that puppy looks like a chihuahua. If that is a chihuahua, that bite's gotta hurt. Nightwing number 78 will feature colors by Adriano Lucas and letters by Wes Abbott. It will be edited by Jessica Chen. It is expected to feature a variant cover by Scan. Um, the book hit shelves in March 2021. What do you make of the new Nightwing creative team and their plans for the character? Will you get this book? Um, Will you give this book a shot in March? Oh, yeah. And you get going. You're good on time, Mike. Okay. ATC is supposed to be kid friendly, and I've done anything but be that. Um, and again, my kids have heard laugh out loud me say some nasty things. Hmm. Tonight, laugh out loud. I have to watch my language again now that there's grandkids around. You don't want to pollute their minds there, back out. You want to help them keep their innocence for as long as you can. Yeah, Mike's been great on time. Laugh out loud. Um, that goat. They're going to hear worse from their parents behind closed doors, of course. Look, we got a fourth person in here finally. True that. Laugh out loud. Oh my God, really, Zuko? Hey, that's a time bomb. Waiting. Well, Robin Batwings um going to have a really dark turn and a shining ending, a very unglorious redemption arch, but I think it's supposed to be arc. Yeah. Okay, I'm feeling like a jaded old bleep. Fuck off! Laugh out loud. Nice catch, laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Hey, hey, just got home. Going to make a bite. Hey, anonymity, welcome to the stream. We've been having a go of it. Ain't on. Evening, gentlemen. Hi, guys. Hey, Woody. What would Woody do? Back in 62, driving fancy cars, drinking in the bars, playing all the games, picking up the dames. What would Woody do? What would Woody do? Anonymity, 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 anonymity. Yeah, okay. Hey, Anon, how are you doing tonight? You awesome sauce of a person, you. Hey, Woody. Woody, the gang's all here. Well, almost everybody. Leto's not here. Toys has been hitting the whiskey a bit tonight. Woody, your vid was cool. I liked the Steve Sison. We converse when I'm Sober. Woody song. Ha ha ha. When action hits whiskey, it's like 3EX hard and vigorous and a marathon back goat. Laugh out loud, yeah. Hitting the limit, laugh out loud, 2 months sober and depression puts me back at 0. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's see how much more we can get. We're like hour and 21 and change here. Let's see how much more we can get done. Because I had slated 6 stories tonight. Gotten through about half of them. I have to admit, I'm getting to like that song. That's great. ATC right now. I'm just fooling around looking for likely subjects. Okay, so here we go. Next one. Next story here. The last of the comic stories here. As I said, we'll see about the anime stories. Done with this. Marvel Comics announced new Ultraman series. Marvel Comics announced a brand new Ultraman series to follow up the Rise of Ultraman they released earlier this year. The new series, titled The Trials of Ultraman, will be written by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom, in collaboration with artist Francesco Mana, the original creative team behind The Rise of Ultraman. And you see the cover here, I guess. Trials of Ultraman. On Twitter, Marvel promised the new series will see Ultraman face his greatest challenge yet. They want they went on to add new enemies and new thrills await the mysterious warrior beyond the stars. When the Trials of Ultraman launches next spring. Then they have a tweet here, of course. In their official announcement for the series, Marvel Comics would detail the following the events of Rise of Ultraman. Much of the populace regard their defenders with suspicion. Enemies hide in plain sight, and even those closest to Shinhayata don't necessarily trust the Giant of Light. Um, However, it appears he'll be reunited with a long thought lost comrade who has mysteriously returned. Marvel adds the training wheels are off and the stakes have never been higher. Marvel number 1, The Rise of Ultraman. Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom released a joint statement detailing what fans can expect from this follow up series. They stated, in The Rise of Ultraman, we had to create a whole new universe built on the powerful concepts and characters of the original television shows. Then, in the final issue of Rise, we turned the world upside down. Now, in the Trials of Ultraman, we get to really expose this new universe, the consequences of decisions made in Rise, and possibilities, as well as tensions, of the newly fantastical global community. Sounds like a New World Order story going on there. The introduction is over. Now we'll be diving into the real meat of our Ultraman saga, and the stakes and scale will only continue to grow. They continue. They added, we're so grateful that so many existing Ultraman fans embraced our new interpretation, um, and that new fans took a leap of faith from to join us on this journey. It's a privilege to continue um, to continue to contribute to the wider Ultraman canon, and we'll never take for granted that we're only able to do so because of the support of readers. We hope everyone will join us for the next step. There are big things ahead. The Trials of Ultraman 1 is expected to hit comic book shelves sometime in March. The first issue will feature a cover by author Adams. Do you plan on checking the new series out? So, with that story being done, excuse me one more moment, guys. I gotta go off camera for just a quick moment here. Uh, let's see where left off in the. And again, of course, I do thank you guys for all the likes and shares. Helps bring in people. Um, excuse me one more time here. Sorry. I wonder why it's not saying 5. Anyways, no problem, dude. Don't worry. Now you'll start over again. It's a cool song, Woody. Um, yeah, that goat. I've gone through my collection of liquor, which was no small feat. Um, and then recently, I've hit a patch where my wife took all my guns and hit. Yeah, probably a good idea. You don't want to be handling guns while you're drunk. Yeah, it's probably a good thing she did. It's called being responsible. It's not a proud moment for me, but half the battle is admitting to the people closest to you you need help. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe! Uh, yeah, very true. Just be open and honest, my dude. You'll feel like bleep tomorrow. So there's a good place to start. Laugh out loud. Okay, I'm going radio silence. This is not something I wanted to put out there on the intro. How about sorry guys? That's okay. Hey, that's okay. ATC. Sometimes it just happens. Um, okay. I'll be honest. I've never ever had a hangover ever. Well, I've never had one either. Of course, I've never drank alcohol, but but that's another story for another day. Um, when you're down, change up what's normal to you. There's always better things. Little diversity there. You need a new toy shop. No worries, dude. I will always be a medic. You can tell me anything. All right. Well, before I do go on to my next two stories, we got most of the people here. I think Leto might have heard this too over the weekend. I guess I'll make the announcement I was going to make now because everybody, more or less, I think everybody's here. I think Anonymity and Action heard this, and of course, Batgoat knows this because we were talking about it on Friday. So I wanted to give you guys kind of a update, kind of a programming update for the next couple weeks here. Batgoat and I had decided that we're going to postpone the continuation um, of the comic comic history retrospective until after the holidays because he's not sure if he's going to be here. Going to want to spend time with his family. So this is what we're going to do for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. I still will be streaming on those nights. Okay, I still will be streaming, but what I will be doing is I'll be basically doing like what we did on Thanksgiving. Basically, I'm going to open up the studio. Anybody wants to come in and hang out, more than welcome to. I can have up to 10 people in here. You know, maybe we can get some good conversations going. We can talk about anything niche. You know, anything comes to mind. I know. I'll probably want to talk quite a bit about one of my all-time favorites on Christmas, which is Yogi's First Christmas. But for the next couple of weeks, we're gonna postpone the comic historical retrospect until the 8th. So the next two Fridays, and for the next couple of weeks here for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, it's going to be open mic. I'm going to open up the studio and let y'all come in and hang out, and we'll try to talk about anything. So be ready for that. Um, Hopefully, we can get some of you guys in there who haven't been in there, like Anonymity and Leto. Um, well, they also may choose to join us on those nights. So, anyways, I know there's been yes, you may have just heard me say the S word because for a moment there, it seemed like the now for a moment. So, laugh aloud laugh aloud after worldwide reset. Mike, I'll take you out. Laugh out loud. I'm told I'm the most friendly drunk in the world. Yeah, I'm not too keen about hanging out with people when they're drunk. They're just too chaotic. I got enough crazy in my own head to really need to take on anybody else's. Things back up, but I'm field. Um, nope, lagging. What the stream's lagging back up? Hey, Mike. To be honest, I don't know if I'll still have all my faculties next year, but we take each day as it comes. A little bit choppy, yeah. Well, hopefully it will settle itself down a bit. Is Batgo the only one experiencing lagging or choppiness, or is anybody else experiencing it? Are any of you other guys experiencing like any choppiness or anything like that, or lagging or anything like that, or is it just Batgo? Lag is real. I'm cooking some ramen. I heard some for a sec. Better now, Mike. Press on. Okay, so but you all did hear my announcement about for the next couple of weeks, right? Just to be clear about what we're gonna do for the next couple of weeks for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. Right? Everybody got that? Yeah, I think I saw a touch of it back then, but not now. All right, so I guess you're talking about the lag. All right, so one more time, just in case you guys didn't get it before, for the next couple weeks, or we're gonna postpone the historical comic retrospect instead on Thursday and Friday for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. We're gonna do open mic where I'm gonna open up the studio for anybody and everybody to come in and hang out. And talk. We'll just talk about whatever comes to mind. Whatever comes to mind niche wise. So indubitably. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, yeah, I think I got enough time to get those other two stories in because they're on comic book resources, and those articles usually are pretty short. Those usually are quicker reads. So there we go. There's the first story. Yes. Okay, so alrighty then. So as we move ahead to the next story here, going to have a couple of stories from the anime side of things. So here we go. The first thing is Crunchyroll announces 2021 Anime Award categories. Crunchyroll has announced the 18 categories for its 2021 Anime Awards, which will be held during a live stream event on January 19th, 2021. And there you go, right there. There's the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Crunchyroll has announced the list of nominees for its 2021 Anime Awards. Voting will begin January 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and end on January 22nd, 2021 at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Winners will be revealed during a live streamed program on Friday, February 19th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Crunchyroll has also revealed the list of judges on its official website, which consists of several community experts. The final votes are weighed 70-30, with 70% going to the judges, 30% going to the fans. The official list of categories can be found below. The 2021 Anime Awards will also be sponsored by Princess Connect Redive, the latest addition to Crunchyroll Games portfolio. Princess Connect regarding Dive follows a young man named Yuki who awakens in a mystical land with no memories of his past. Yuki soon encounters three female inhabitants and forms the Gourmet Guild with them. The game has also spawned an anime series, which is currently available on Crunchyroll sites and is open for pre registration on iOS and Android. The 2021 Anime Awards will premiere on Friday, February 19th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's it for that one. I said these CBR articles are a little bit shorter and quicker to read, so see what you guys have said thus far. Oh man, this should be great. Most empowered show that never aired an episode. High Guardian Spice. Uh-huh. That goat, what is this show? If it's an award show, it's gotta be bad. Yeah, especially when they're going woke. Laugh out loud. That goat heard loud and clear. Okay, so we'll get to we will get to the last article I'm going to read for tonight. I did make some good time tonight doing all this. Article in regards to my all-time favorite anime, and also kind of a follow-up because I think we did talk a little this one right here. We did talk about the release of the live action um Yu Yu Hakusho. Excuse me a moment while I go off camera. Gotta just go off camera for just a quick moment here. Okay, let's see. All right, so no new comments there. Let's get through this. Yu Yu Hakusho deserves a revival, but not the live action Netflix treatment. Yu Yu Hakusho deserves a revival after decades of cryostasis, but Netflix's live action anime treatment in the past leaves much to be desired. Yoshihiro Togashi's Yu Yu Hakusho ranks among the greatest shonen anime and manga of all time. Adventures of Yusuke Urameshi and his friends offered audiences tons of well developed characters, grotesque monsters, tragic antagonists, magnificent world building, and tons of action. With the reveal that Netflix will adapt Yu Yu Hakusho for live action, some fans are curious enough to give it a shot. The adaptation could even be good. However, with so many anime and manga being revived in the last decade, including Togashi's other shonen epic, Hunter x Hunter, it feels like high time to bring Yu Yu Hakusho back to its anime roots. Sayonara, bye bye. So take care of yourself, because we've been different people, but we ought to know. Sayonara, bye bye. Netflix's track record with live action anime doesn't bode well for Yu Yu Hakusho. There have been good live action manga adaptations, including the likes of Nana, Alita, Battle Angel, Ichi the Killer, and the Lone Wolf and Cub movies. However, many of them, such as Dragon Ball Evolution, Devilman, and Attack on Titan, proved ultimately disappointing. Netflix's track record for live action manga adaptations has ranged from the social likes of Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist, both Japanese productions, to the nearly unwatchable American Death Note movie, which so drastically altered his Light's character that none of his actions carried the same impact as the original. The film alone is enough to inspire cynicism about the phrase Netflix anime action live action adaptation. Yeah. I'm sure that we all would agree that maybe Netflix deserves a good kick in the rear. As The Rock would say, gonna shine my foot real nice and shiny and stick it straight up your candy, you know what. Right? Right, guys? Let's see. Hey, hey, Mike, you know it's okay if you go overtime. Never hurts. Never doesn't hurt. Going to smoke with a neighbor. I'll be listening. Well, I know some of you guys want to get over to Nick's stream if he's streaming tonight. So, I mean, I try, plus, even there are times I can't talk forever. Even I get a little worn out. So, well, Bleach live action, Netflix sucked and swallowed. So, oh God, bad. I didn't want to know what's coming next. Laugh out loud. uh, I'll head out to the garage and join you for a bowl. Oh wow, they did a live action Bleach. Barf. Yeah. Alita was great, but woke media crucified it out the gate. Netflix live action adaptations um, have made everyone lose hope in live actions. Nick canceled. Oh boy. Oh, did he cancel tonight for? I guess maybe he felt he needed more rest or um. Nick, I'm happy where I am. Netflix is the only space left on this planet that has current good animation shows in all categories, which could be saying, which, well, anyways, nonetheless, Netflix is still going full steam ahead with manga anime adaptation. Some might just work like adaptations of Sword Art Online, Cowboy Bebop, but others seem like less than ideal fits for the medium. The choice to adapt One Piece, one of the most cartoony action shonen, seems particularly suspect, while Yu Hakusho's tone is more down to earth than One Piece's to accurately bring the series fantasy world to life properly. Would still be an incredibly different feat for a TV show. Changes might be made that compromise the spirit of the story. Demons might change, fights might change. If Yusuke's life as a street punk is lessened, uh-huh, then it might not be clear why his growth into a hero matters, nor his respect for powerful villains like Pogoro or disregard for authority figures. This is not even considering the especially high budget necessary to bring all the demons and spiritual abilities to life without looking absurd. Hmm. That's some good analysis right there. The Yu Yu Hakusho OVAs were a start, but look to the future. Many fans know there was a brief revival that tickled the taste buds of Yu Yu Hakusho fans. Back in 2018, two short OVAs adapting material from the Hakusho manga that had gone unadapted. These OVAs were brief but very entertaining, especially from for a fan base that hadn't received new content in decades. However, these OVAs were still drawing from the original manga. While this is new content, it would be interesting to see an original story set in Yu Yu Hakusho universe, especially given the open potential of both the world and the timeline. Unlike series like Hunter x Hunter or Sailor Moon, first anime the first anime was a fairly faithful and complete adaptation on the original manga. A redo of something that was already done pretty much perfectly is just redundant. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, if they were going to bring about a new story, like Yu Yu Hakusho is probably like I watched the Yu Yu Hakusho the 90, when it came out. Well, I watched it as it was, latter, but it caught my attention. It became one of my all-time favorites. If they are going to do something, excuse me, new with it, I would like to see how the story progressed after the end of Yu Yu Hakusho. You know, because Yusuke would now be, let's see. So let's just say everything was done in real time. The anime was done from 92 to 94. If you're going on the idea that um let's say Yusuke was like 18 in 1994, right? So that would make him 44 now. That would make basically in their human form him, Kuwabara, Keiko, all 44. Karama and Hiei in their human form maybe 40. Well, they wouldn't have aged obviously, but and with Yusuke being half demon, with his aging had been slow, would be nice to see how everything kind of turned out if like Yusuke and Yuri and Keiko got married. There any other relationships that ended up developing? Maybe we'd have a surprise like Hiei and Botan got married, kind of making them the Yu Yu Hakusho version of Bulma and Vegeta, right? Uh got to go off camera again. Sorry, guys. Real quick here. I know. That's not saying much, but it's what we got. Okay, I'll be honest. Netflix is just breaking into anime, so they're being more true to the source material. They have great all around shows. Did you guys know the Angry Birds show on Netflix is highly rated by normie parents? DreamWorks is still making current shows just for Netflix. That goat, I'm one of the normie parents who rated Angry Birds as good. Laugh out loud, me considering myself as a normie. Laugh out loud. I'm going to watch Angry Birds now that I have that up, brought that up. Laugh out loud, no words, so actions. Um, Laugh out loud, all make sense. Weird how no political jargon makers makes the show. No political jargon makes the show better. Yep. We've seen that time and time again, my friend. Yeah, we're better at geek stuff. Never seen that. Oh my god, don't watch Chow or whatever. That bald kid is called Shoutzu in Dragon Ball Z. Kalu, I heard that show was a spoiled kid show or something. Anyways, let's see now. Yeah, okay, so continuing on with the next paragraph here. Any new animated Yu Yu Hakusho content should ideally be either a prequel or sequel series. There are multiple spirit detectives before and presumably after Yusuke who could be the subject of an Avatar or JoJo style follow up. A sequel series could also focus on Yusuke after his training and potentially pull a Boruto or Yasahime, focusing instead on Yusuke and Keiko's future children, embarking on their own journeys. That's true too. It's another interesting idea. I mean, I think I touched upon that with my comments too. Given Togashi's long hiatuses in Hunter x Hunter's release schedule, believed to be the result of physical and psychological pain, it would be a bad idea to force him to juggle new Hunter x Hunter material with a new Yu Yu Hakusho series. As such, it might be wise to have him on as a consulting advisor for Yu Yu Hakusho Revival rather than have him actively take part in its creation. Much like the role Toriyama has in new Dragon Ball content, that way a new Yu Yu Hakusho anime would not come at the physical expense of the original manga. I can see that, but on the other hand, you kind of, for newer material, you'd like to see the continuity continue. So that's where I'd be at with it. So, anyways, so that's basically what we got for tonight in terms of the main news stories. We're almost at the 2 hour mark, so we really went, yeah, back go. Let's see. Kalu, that show looked horrible. My kids are older, so that was never a kid thing at our house. I heard he's a whiny little female dog, and most parents have hate watching that show. Yeah, back up. Just remember the grandkids. My daughter was a little baby when Barney the dinosaur was new. Now she has a baby. We're trying to figure out what the kids should watch. About loud. Well, I would always pitch the classics, Bat Goat, Hanna Barbera, Smurfs, Snorks, Filmation, Rankin Bass, you name it, classics, Looney Tunes. Uh, I think he's going to have a DVD collection of old reliable shows, including Barney and Sesame Street. Read old Sesame Street, not the new SJW crap. Uh huh. Well, I guess SJW garbage, and yes, I did say the other. I guess it's relative because some people might argue that their earlier stuff was SJW for the time period it was in. So bear that in mind. Context. Well, we're past the 2 hour mark. 15. 1994. Also 2015. 1995. Okay, so let's see. Alrighty then, guys. Well, we're past the 2 hour mark already. Second time in the last couple of weeks we've actually gone beyond 2 hours here. Um, okay, so are you guys ready for this day in each history? I think it'd be a good time to wrap it up. I already made my announcement there about the programming changes for the next couple of weeks here. So, are you guys ready for this day in each history? Because I think I'm about ready to wrap things up. History! Yay! Mike, I'm sure people would listen longer. Ready here. Yeah, I know. Theoretically, especially when we're in a good conversation mode like this, we could theoretically go all night. But even my mouth gets a little tired after a while. so yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I already made my announcement on the programming changes for the next couple of weeks here. So hopefully, let me scratch my villain beard. Okay, so, well, guys, today being Monday, December the 21st, 2020, let's take a look back on this day in each history. Let's see, let me just do quick little previews here. All right, I think I'm just about ready here. Did this earlier. Okay, so without no further ado, let's get started on this day in each history. Let's look back to this day in each history. All right, so the first bit of history we're going to look at here is we're going to take a look back 26 years ago today um, as Ultraman. All right. Or I'm sorry, not Ultraman, Ultra Force. Sorry, I should have. Ultra Force. Ultra Force would premiere on USA Network on this date in 1994. So it would run into 1995. That's why it's here. But on this date in 1994, Ultra Force would premiere. The Deke Productions produced Ultra Force would premiere on USA Network on this date 26 years ago. Um, in 19 ready here. Yeah, okay. So on this date, 1994, 26 years ago today, Ultra Force would premiere on USA Network. So now, as we move ahead in time, on this date, 25 years ago, so 1 year after that, after what we just said, on this date 25 years ago today, in 1995, the 50th and final issue of Eternal Warrior from Valiant Comics went on sale on this date in 1995, 25 years ago today. Was $2.50, 32 pages. Uh, Lanier Thompson was the editor. John Ostrander was the author. Jackson Geese did the penciling. Mike DiCarlo did the inking. The lettering was done by Alfredo Quintana, and Alfred Ramirez did the coloring. So on this date, 25 years ago today, the 50th and final issue of Eternal Warrior went on sale on newsstands from Valiant Comics. Um, excuse me one more time. I got to go off camera for a quick sec. Okay, so as we move on then, on to the next bit of history here. And we got another interesting little scenario here. First off, on this date 5 years ago today, from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the WWE would have their Raw program on this date 5 years ago today. In the main event, Dean Ambrose would defeat Sheamus in a steel cage match. Also on the undercard, Becky Lynch defeated Brie Bella via submission. Rusev also got a submission victory. This time he did over Neville. On the opening match of the night was Kane defeating Bray Wyatt by DQ, and then the Wyatt family defeating the four-man team of Kane, Tommy Dreamer, and the Dudley Boys. Alberto Del Rio also did Jack Swagger, amongst other days. The Usos defeated the New Day. So that happened on this date 5 years ago today. Is that the WWE hosted Raw from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and 2015 is just so nice that we're gonna hit it twice. As also on this date in 2015, the Taiyo Animation anime Yuru Yuri Sanhai would complete its run on TV Tokyo, among other things. It completed its original run in Japan. The anime Yuru Yuri Sanhai from Tio Animation would finish its run on this date 5 years ago today. So that's all that happened on this day in Niche history. I thank you guys again for joining me. I thank you guys for all the likes and shares for the night. And I look forward to tomorrow night. And don't forget, this Thursday and Friday, I'm opening up the studio. Anybody can join me on those nights, this Thursday and Friday, and next Thursday and Friday, as we'll get together, hang out, talk niche. And until tomorrow night, guys, bye.